So setup-wise, it's looking good. Your posture now looking great. Grip-wise, for me, we sort of tick the box there. Now you're getting your thumb on top there with your right hand. Your left thumb's now covered. We're in a good start position. Overall, there, it's a position we can hit the golf ball from. Evidence by that with the last sort of 3 or 4 shots you've done. The only real swing issue we had, backswing was fine. A bit more risk than ideal, but don't worry about that. That's fine. It's a sort of characteristic to your golf swing, so don't need to change. As you come back to the golf ball, as you were coming into it, there was a bit of a lift, and the left arm sort of pulling away from the body, all getting a little bit close and lifty. Hence the reason why you sort of catch the top of the ball, so your swing will sort of go back on an arc this way, come back down, and then go up quite quickly. And sort of that lifting of that left arm, so the old chicken wing, as you said, causes it to catch the top of the golf ball. The ball just pops up in the air and then dribbles 50, 60 yards at best. So as we're swinging back down now, we're going to try and maintain that width. Good strike, as you can see now. You can see back at impact, you've gone back to a much more sort of similar structure that you started off at. So your arms, that triangle, that Y shape that you've created, you've maintained that. You're keeping this width here now, which is great. And look at the length of that swing now compared to where you were. If you sort of look back in terms of little lessons 2 or 3 weeks ago, your shoulders were definitely turning through, as they will do, because they're always going to go through. Your club swinging at 60 mile an hour plus, it's going to spin your body around. So that was always never an issue, okay? But now your hips have probably moved through about 75% of where they could do, and that foot is off the ground. We look at this position here now, foot's sort of more pointing up towards us, hasn't really come together. The hips haven't really sort of come through quite as much, okay? So the general, and that to be fair is probably more than you were doing in the previous swings, okay? Like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that, I think now with that right hip, definitely. I think, as I said, that's always been close to 100%. Again, your shoulders will always spin round. But if the lower half was stopping and the body was almost being dragged around by the club spinning, all your shots would just generally come back to the golf ball with the club face aiming that way. You just hook it to the left all the time. And then, of course, you were fearful of that hook shot, didn't want to turn through it, and then you just sort of stop the body. Now, of course, you can see by releasing the body how much further it's going, just by getting a better contact.
No, I think it was last week's lesson you mentioned the grip and just the...
That hinge, exactly, kind of like a sort of light bulb moment, you think, I've got it. So, and that's the thing, like, you go through sort of certain lessons you go through, so you sort of piece things together. You sort of start with setup, get yourself in certain positions, get the engine working, get the grip working, and get all those things working together. And some people find sort of somewhere along that sort of jigsaw, shall we say, it's like, oh, I can see the picture now. When you first start, it's just basically a lot of corners and edges with nothing, you just sort of show for us. Oh, what's that? As this all start coming together, I can see what it's going to be now. So usually, I say between lessons, between 2 and 5, sometimes I get it all straight away. Some guys a bit later, but between sort of 2 and 5, 3 or 4, that sort of thing. There's that feeling of, that's what a good swing feels like. That's the move I'm trying to make, and then you sort of keep producing that exactly. So then the muscle memory you're creating is practicing of a beneficial movement, not just to hitting 1,000 balls a week with the wrong move and ingraining a fault. Because practice makes permanent, not perfect. Okay, so keep that body moving there. Okay, but just in terms of swing wise, we're just looking to get that club a little bit longer and lower and shallower. Don't let that left arm lift, but the left arm will lift partly because you were trying to stop it going left. The ball ain't going left now. You can just release that club and fully swing it to target there, man, and give it a smack. So hit a couple more of that 3 with all the hybrid.